This is the VZ-24. It's got all the bangs and dings and knocks and bumps and bruises from World War II. It's got a lot of history here. Here you see the stripper clips that feed this monster. 8mm Mauser. You have old surplus on the right. You have new modern ammo on the left, along with their respective stripper clips. Five round stripper clip. Put in the charging bridge. Shove it up the thumb. 5 rounds loaded. Ready to go. Okay. This, like I said in the video, this may be the best 8mm Mauser made during World War II. This is a Czech Mauser from Czechoslovakia, and they modeled this obviously after Mauser, so not modeled after the K98. So this is modeled after the 98 Mauser, and they did such a good job with this. Starting in 1924, they started producing these VZ-24s. When the Nazis occupied Czechoslovakia in 1938, they just continued making them, and they made them right up till 1942. So they didn't really have to change anything. In fact, the Nazis just kind of gave them their own description. They called it the G-24T, G for Gewehr or rifle, and then 24 because it's the VZ-24, and then the T that's the first letter in the way the Germans spelled Czechoslovakia. So that's where the T comes from. But these Czech Mausers were really well built. The Nazis just took over. They already fired the same round as the 98K, so they just kept making them. Very little changes right until 1942, and then they made the transition over to the K98K. But very nice Mauser rifle. This particular one was made for Romania. It has an XR prefix to the serial number, and the R stands for Romania. X is because they went sequential down the alphabet. But these R's were made between was this 1938 up until 1940-ish. They had the Romanian crown. So this one is probably after 1940. These were made in, keep in mind, not people forget this, Romania was an ally of the Nazis. So there's a very good chance this rifle would have seen time in Stalingrad, Battle of Stalingrad. How about that? So Romania got, and then Romanians, as the war went on, they saw that things weren't going their way, so they flipped. They became part of the Allies. I don't trust those Romanians. But the Romanians fought on both sides, so this rifle could have potentially fought on both sides of the war, which is kind of cool as far as the history goes. Some of the things about the VZ-24, you'll notice it's a straight bolt action. That straight bolt sticks straight out to the side, and at first you go, oh God, that's horrible. It sticks way out. It's gonna be, but if you're in Stalingrad and you're freezing your ass off and you're wearing mittens or big thick gloves, you can still work the bolt, right? And you get your mitted finger in that trigger guard. But it is a Mauser action, obviously. So it breaks down, part swap. Well, not the parts, but the Germans would be able to pick this up and fire it right away and know exactly what they had. Some of the cool things you'll notice, it has 2 sets of sling attachments. So you could carry this either vertically on your shoulder, or you can have it shorter like across your back if you were in the cavalry. How about that? So it does have a couple of sets of sling swivels on there at the bottom and on the side. Kind of extra. I don't think I need it, but very nice shooting. It does shoot that big 8mm round, on par with the 30-06. If you're shooting at 8mm, you're loaded about the same as the 30-06 is. When you look at other contemporary guns like the Mosin Nagant, this is probably a much better rifle, much better built. And you saw how it is fed by that 5-round stripper clip. It has a 5-round internal magazine, and once it's fed with 5, you're ready to go for five shots. The sights on this are very small. This rear notch very, very hard to find your front sight. I don't think I would be very accurate with it with my old eyes. You know, it's adjustable. You see it's adjustable for elevation. We just pinch these two, move this up, and it's graduated up to, what is that, 2,000 meters. So you can be lobbing shells at somebody 2,000 meters away. And that, you know, I don't know how accurate you'd be at 2,000. I can't see 2,000 meters away. But nice steel butt plate and you're kicking indoors. Nice solid hardwood stock. That full length stock, you could be bashing and this is the gun you want to have. This thing is going to be indestructible. Pretty cool. We're able to take it to the range and it still shoots and fires just like it's supposed to. Like I said, it's going to be indestructible. You know, the gun 1924 and it's what, 2000, close to 24, right? Not too far off. We're getting close to 100 years old. Still as deadly as the day it was built. Kind of neat though. If you like this sort of thing, give me a like, subscribe, and you see more videos of me doing this sort of stuff in a video. See you in the next video. If you're familiar with Mauser bolt action rifles, your safety is that big flag safety. You put that up and when you go to look down the sights, you have this big giant flag in front of you. You know you're not going to be able to, you know, fire that gun because the safety's on. But that's gonna block disconnect your trigger. If we take it all the way over, then it locks the bolt. We bring it all the way over to the left. Now we're open and it's ready to fire. So that's the fire position. When you want to remove the bolt, we bring it all the way back. There's this lever here. If we just pull this down, the bolt is easily removed. Take it out and clean it. In one of my other videos, I showed how to disassemble this and take it all apart and clean it. Very, very simple, easy to work on. But, you know, very easy to take apart, very easy to put back together. We're all set to go. The Czechoslovakian company that made this, and it's BRNO, and I'm not even gonna try to pronounce that. Brno, how about that? I did try. All right, but this is the VZ-24, the Mauser bolt action rifle, World War II version. Sometimes you hear people talk about, oh, it has that Mauser action. You know, that Mauser action is so strong, and it really is. If we look at the bolt, and I don't know if you can see this, but there's two locking lugs up at the front of the bolt, and there's a third locking lug at the bottom, at the rear of the bolt also. But when it comes to bolt strength, having those two forward locking lugs, and that rear locking lug, compare this to something like your Lee Enfield that only locked at the rear. Compare this, you know, to some of the other rifles at the time that only had one forward locking lug. This thing was indestructible. You want to shoot a big heavy round. You want to shoot that 8mm Mauser. This is the kind of bolt you're going to be able to handle that and a hell of a lot more. That's why guys since World War II, when guys would want to sporterize a rifle, they would take that Mauser action, and you could, you know, make a Wildcat. You can go up in caliber. You can go to a big, fat, heavy round if you want to go elephant hunting. You would use the Mauser action to make a custom rifle because the Mauser design was so darn strong, and that's coming from the bolt. But it's, you know, like I said, it is a Mauser design. It is a Mauser action. It's still being made, still being copied, still being produced throughout the world. If you're looking for a big, heavy-duty bolt action rifle, it will most likely be a Mauser action.